Previously on the Bleach Brothers podcast. I'm a big prankster, and this is how I'm known in my friend group. I mean, you and I have known this for a long time. But really, anybody who gets to know me knows that at some point you're probably going to be pranked. And while not all of them are receptive, most of them are freaking hilarious. And so, if I can, man, I actually recently played a prank on some buddies. Can I tell you about it?
Of course, yeah.
So, I'm on Instagram one day.
Okay.
And on whatever page I'm on Instagram, they shared a meme, and it was by Dicks by Mail, right? And so I think it was right around Valentine's Day, and so Dicks by Mail had this meme that you can send a chocolate penis to somebody anonymously. And I'm like, I have a select few people that I want to send that to. And so I got on the Dicks, dude. I got on the Dicks by Mail to send this 8-inch sucker off. Were you on your work
computer, or were you?
No. Okay. This was on my cell phone. On my cell phone. So I got on Dicks by Mail to find out that all of these big ass chocolate dicks were sold out. And so I'm like, well, that's unfortunate, right? Because this would be really cool.
What a tragedy. There's no more chocolate dicks in the world for you.
I'm telling you, man, there's the commodities market is crazy right now, right? Wood prices are through the roof.
Did you just put chocolate dicks in the same category of commodity items in American?
Bro, you have chocolate dicks, gasoline, and 2x4s, right?
Whoa,
these are the essentials these are the essentials, man. And so I wasn't able to buy these dicks, right? I wasn't able to buy the dicks. So, but I'm on the website, and I find a plethora of penis accessories, dude. And I'm not talking about cock rings. I'm talking about you can have Father's Day cards where you would open up the card and you are showered with glitter dicks. Right?
Oh my God, this is eye-opening to me.
You could send somebody anonymously a bag of gummy dicks with a note that says "chew on a bag of dicks." It's amazing, right? So great.
So this is a good site. Okay, I'm getting down with this.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile, and it's also worthwhile to note that Dicks by Mail is not paying us to talk about this. This is a legitimate prank, and so. When I went on there, I saw a good amount of ideas that I really wanted to play on some buddies of mine. And I came across this.
Can I just be thankful for one thing? I'm going to make you shut your air and yap for a second and interrupt you. So
okay,
they essentially, I'm glad you didn't get this as an ad. Because you know how Instagram has ads.
Yeah,
because if you would have started this story saying I was scrolling through and I had a promotional ad shop come up for dicks, I'd been like, it's like that story in Superbad when he's like, I can't stop drawing penises. I would have looked at you as my fat friend and been like, why do you have so much penises in your advertisement? Right? Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just
by the way, just a sidetrack from your sidetrack. Okay. His explanation. So Jonah Hill's character in Superbad, his explanation of drawing dicks is some of the funniest comedy I've seen in movies, because he's talking about the big veiny ones, the big hairy ones. I just think it's funny.
You're going to go down this road. You just talked about gummies and chocolate and glitter dicks. You're the same guy.
Yeah. Glitter dicks, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Dicks, bro.
So I'm going through the different pages of dick pranks to do.
The dick page.
Okay. And I find tire stems, right? So everybody who has a car, we've all got tires, right? We've all got the little cap that we all lose when we're checking the air in our tires. And so I'm looking at these and I'm like, okay, okay, this might be a fun prank.
This is the dick for you, is what you're saying. This was
right. And so this is like I said, this is right around Valentine's Day this year that I come across this. So I store that in the mental bank, right? I'm like, okay, that's for later. I'll probably try to do this.
Do you hear do you hear yourself talking? You store dick in the brain. Okay, I know we're not trying to be too childish here, but this. All right, anyways, go ahead.
My brain is off limits unless you have mud boots. I'm just going to tell you right now, you can't walk around in my brain unless you have prophylactics on your feet. So, So long story short, a buddy of mine comes into my office and he destroys my desk. Now, backstory on this. I work for his wife, who's also a really good friend of mine. And So she knew that he was going to come in and just completely destroy my desk. And some things that he's done over the course of probably the last year is he has taken a stuffed bunny and he's taped its hands into a position on a big old highlighter to look like he's holding his pee-pee, right? Okay. He has left little notes all over the place. Probably the worst prank that he did was toward the end of last summer. Or I say worst for me, really good for him because it got me good. Toward the end of last summer, he ended up going to my work calendar and he pulled out the month of October. Now, here's why that's significant, because I actually had a few doctor's appointments that I had scheduled in October, and the motherfucker took my October calendar right out of my hanging wall calendar. So as I get to the month of October, right, I know I have appointments and little stickers on my little calendar, and I go from September to November, and I'm like, I think I sat there and I flipped it like 2 or 3 times to see what I missed, right? Like, this doesn't look right. And my coworker, whose desk is right next to mine, hands me the month of October and goes, "Here, Steve wants you to have this." And I'm like, son of a bitch, right?
Right.
So I knew, out of all the motherfuckers that I know, that my buddy Steve needed to have a prank pulled on him.
Okay.
Well, my buddy Steve goes out and he buys a Ford Mustang GT, right?
Oh,
and this is a white Ford Mustang GT, right? And he's got these bright blue rims, and this car is his baby. And so I buy blue tire dicks, is what they're called on the website, tire dicks with a Z, from dicksbymail.com. And then I buy 2 red ones because I have another friend named Steven who drives a red Camaro. And then I had a third guy who I was going to prank, which it didn't work out that way, but it ended up turning out to be a good prank on my buddy Rick's Dodge Ram, which is also red. And so I bought these suckers, I think, in late February. Mind you, I had looked in February to buy these right before Valentine's Day. Toward the end of February, I ended up buying 3 sets of dicks, right? Yes, Jake, I bought 3 sets of dicks. And so I just stored these, right? Well, I couldn't find an opportune time for everybody whose vehicle needed to be there to be in the same place that I can place the dicks. And so I ended up including all the wives. And I said, "Hey, check it out. Here's what I need to do. I need there to be some sort of gathering, some sort of get-together where these guys can all have their vehicles there, and then I can replace the dicks." Well, sure enough, this happened last Friday. So last Friday night, we go to my friend Aubrey's house for dinner, or quote-unquote dinner, and I was quote-unquote late because I had to get beer or whatever their excuse was. And everybody's in the backyard while I'm out putting dicks on everybody's cars.
Right.
And it was beautiful because we stayed in the backyard until it was dark, and I took off, and they took off, and nobody noticed dicks, right?
Right.
So the next day, my buddy Steve's got his Mustang in his garage, and he has passed by his Mustang probably 50 times, and his wife keeps telling me he keeps passing his car, and he hasn't noticed the dicks. And so all day long, I'm getting this text message. Well, so my friend Rick is driving all around town with dicks on his car. He stops at the casino for breakfast. He goes out to Lowe's. He's doing all this sort of stuff with dicks on his car, right? And so he comes home, still doesn't know that there's any dicks. So finally, my buddy Steve, with his Mustang in his garage, he passes by his Mustang. Right there is my friend Katie's looking on. And he goes, "What the fuck is that?" He goes, "Damn it, Brian, fuck off, blah, blah, blah." And so Katie ends up calling me, and she's got tears in her eyes. She is laughing hysterical. I call my buddy Steve, or I talk with my buddy Steve, and of course, amidst the FUs and that was funny, but now I got to get you back and all that sort of stuff, I remind Steve, I said, "That's for October, buddy."
That's awesome.
He goes, "You've been planning this for this long?" I said, "Yes, I have." So if you need to play a good prank on somebody, the Dicks by Mail is a great thing to do. I totally recommend it. But to answer your question, Jake, I am known for pranks, and I know that you're pretty good at pranks too. So do you have a good prank that you can talk with us about?
I do. I guess I have a top 3. So one I'll actually admit one that my mom did to me. You know what a jelly bowl is?
No.
So if you fill up a toilet with gelatin, it turns solid, And I
Oh,
went and did
no.
my morning routine, and I had to scoop it out. I called my mom, and she laughed. She got me back over years of torture. Because I'm actually not allowed to call my family on April Fool's Day. So one year I convinced my mom, or how it worked was, I called a psychiatric hospital in California, and I asked them if I found one that did evaluations over the phone. And I said, well, I have a mother who's a little crazy. I need an evaluation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you at, at her worst thing. I'm going to get her hysterical and have you
Right.
evaluate her that way. So what I did is I went to a concert that night. I was going to see Hollywood Undead. And I texted her and I said, hey, from my phone. And I said, hey, Mom, my phone's dying. I have an emergency. I need you to call me at this number. I will be unreachable on mine. Well, what I prefaced the doctors with, I said, she's going to try to hang up, and whatever you do, do not let her hang up and let her know that I'm there, and you'll get to me in a minute. So I go to the concert, and I have a blast, and all of a sudden I get out, and I got about like 9 voicemails. And my mom calls me and goes, what the hell's your problem? And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, I just spent the last hour and a half worried about you and on the phone with a psychiatrist, and they think I'm crazy. I was like, because you are crazy. Listen to you. So ever since then, I have been banned from talking to my family on April 1st. But I guess with work, my number one is I glitter desked somebody. So there's this guy I worked with. I did not like him. I will just be straight up front. If I don't like you, it's a bad day for you.
Right.
So he tried to play a prank on me. So the first one I did to him is I did a chia grass on his keyboard when he was gone for a month. So I grew grass in his keyboard, right? The simple one. So then he tried to get me back, and he did a bad job. Well, the next one I wrote the Trump administration because he was, and we're not getting political. Just he was really for Bernie Sanders, which is fine. So he Bernie Sanders my desk as a joke, and he did it to everybody in office. So I actually wrote the Trump campaign and asked for stuff to help me. Promote his message up in the Northwest because it's a more liberal area. And I will admit, the Trump campaign gave me posters and yard signs. They gave me so much stuff. So I trumped his office head to toe, every piece from the ceiling to the floor.
His desk?
I trumped his office, the whole office. Floor to ceiling. I got it. I went into work 2 hours early, did the whole thing, and whenever he came in, it was like everything was trumped. I mean, I got little Trump stickers, I had everything. So then he flipped out, and we got into it. Well, the last one is, I went to a craft store, and I think I spent about $100 in glitter, which that should never happen in life unless you have 2 occupations. Right. Okay. But what I did is I went to his desk and I opened every drawer and I just dumped glitter in there. I didn't take anything out. I just dumped glitter in every orifice of his office furniture.
Oh, man.
So when he opened his desk, there was just
classic.
glitter, and he had to reach in to get a stapler or anything. And this wasn't the typical big. This was all the cheapest glitter you could get that is sticky and gets everywhere. It makes you sneeze. Oh, yeah. So he was an enemy of mine at work. It was sort of like the Jim versus Dwight, and he came to me at that day covered in glitter. Office. Tried to shake my hand and goes, "I'm done." I said, "Oh, I'm not," and. That's where I got. I was a pretty. I'll admit I'm sometimes a little bit of a hateful person, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I don't think you should play a prank on me. I mean, me and you have played pranks on each other, Brian, but I go pretty hard on it. I get really creative.
You go hard in the paint. You go hard in the paint on the pranks. You really do. For more Bleach Brothers podcast content, follow us on all of our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel.